Okay, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. Welcome back to Mangg Plays the Best Games of All Time. Welcome to 1994. And we are playing Donkey Kong Country. So, yeah, last time we looked at Syndicate on DOS, which was a hardcore cyberpunk-themed real-time tactics game involving shooting cops. And this time we're not looking at that. Donkey Kong Country. This is a reboot. I don't even know why they call it that. It's its own thing that just happens to have Donkey Kong in it. But, you know, it's not... I don't know. It's like it has nothing to do with Donkey Kong. Because you're not even playing as Mario, you're playing as Donkey Kong. Anyway, so, basically, Nintendo wanted a game to compete with Aladdin. Which is sort of interesting because Aladdin was on the Super Nintendo. But that was pretty much a different game. That's the one I'm familiar. That was developed by Capcom. And I always liked that game. I've beaten that several times. It was always just kind of an enjoyable platformer. But I later learned that the Genesis had a completely different Aladdin game that was developed by Virgin Games. And there you got like a sword and shit. So, you know, it was just like a completely different game. So anyways, they wanted a game to compete with that version. Because that was a big hit. So, they tapped Rare to bring back Donkey Kong. And so we have Donkey Kong Country. Yeah, I mean, Donkey Kong Country, just another one of those games. Really another one of those series. There were 3 games on the SNES. Pretty much... If you owned a Super Nintendo, you most likely had at least one of the 3 games. Possibly all 3, because they were all, like, just classics. Like, as far as platformers on the SNES, these were up there with Super Mario Brothers. So, yeah, I don't think I probably didn't even need to do a video on Donkey Kong Country, but it's been a while since I played it, and I figure since we did do, like, Super Mario World, we might as well do this. So, let's just get into it. In Donkey Kong Country... Yeah, there is co-op, by the way, which is cool. But you play as Donkey Kong, along with Diddy Kong... And this really, like, introduced and expanded upon the whole Kong family. It's like, what, Cranky Kong or whatever, the grandpa, who is apparently, if I recall correctly, Cranky Kong, who's the grandpa, that's meant to be the Donkey Kong from the original Donkey Kong that went up against Jumpman. So this Donkey Kong we're playing as is not that one. That's like his grandpa or dad or something, I'm not sure exactly. So anyway, I'm zipping through here without talking much, but... You know, in a lot of ways, standard platformer, but you also have... Shit. You also have animals that you can occasionally get on and ride. They can unlock new secrets and all sorts of stuff like that. Different openings, different passageways to unlock little side things. Nice. And it's a one-hit kill, so that's always rough, but you essentially have 2 HP, because if you're playing here as Donkey and you get hit, he goes away, but then you get to control Diddy Kong. And then if you get hit as Diddy Kong, then you're done. But there's a bunch of, like, barrels throughout each level where you can bring back one that you lost. And you should be able to just switch at any time if you... yeah, if you prefer to play as Diddy. I don't... oh, there you go. I don't know if the first game has any differences between the two, really. I can't quite remember, but definitely the second and the third game had differences for each of the two characters you played as. So here we go. So, I think technically wise, it's definitely a more impressive visually game than Super Mario World. With like the different effect, weather effects and all sorts of animations going on, pre-generated like graphics in the background. But I think in the long run, as far as how it holds up, I think Super Mario World is the better looking game, just due to the art design. If I go for that, I'm dead. Fuck. Oh, fuck you. But by and large, Donkey Kong Country, all three games, they're just classic platformers. There's a lot of jumping and bouncing and precise timing and things like that. It's got great music. It's all around just a very solid package. If you were into gaming in general back during these time periods, yeah, Donkey Kong Country was it. So that's Cranky Kong, the OG Donkey Kong. Here you have the different cave levels. There's also, of course, underwater levels, and I think there's snow levels, so it's got everything you need for a platformer. And just very competently made for the time. Fuck. So yeah, I mean, in general, I'd have a hard time saying that this isn't one of the best games of all time. It still certainly holds up. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with the gameplay. It's tough, but it's certainly far from the toughest platformer games. This controller sucks ass. It's D-pad. I have to buy another new controller because I can't seem to... I don't know. I lack any willpower of repairing stuff. I got a bunch of controllers with sticky buttons. Alright, we're in the second area here. Sort of. On our way to the first major boss. Here's the underwater levels. Underwater levels, of course, have a strong reputation of being ass in basically every game that has them. Donkey Kong Country, not too bad. Music was always very pleasant and relaxing. They say that now, and I'm just gonna start raging. Here we've got our swordfish. I think there might have been a secret to the right. Nice. Checkpoint. I'm not trying to go overboard here, showing you all the secrets. We just trying to progress. I want to show you the first boss. If for some insane reason you've never seen it. Alright, fuck it. Ooh. That's it. So then there's Funky Kong, who has flights if you want to go back, I think, to a different area. Fuck! Really? You can't make that? No, apparently not. Yeah, the shooting barrels. Classic stuff, man. Oh yeah, it's good. It's good. Don't do that though. That would be a big mistake on your part. Now we shall go back to the start, because we didn't hit any sort of checkpoint. That was good. That's satisfying. Oh, shit. Could have gotten that. That was terrifying. Yeah, I mean, you gotta love that stuff. You gotta love it. That don't happen in Mario World. Okay. Hell yeah. Oh, see, and then they get tricky with it. Fuck! You kidding me? Donkey Kong. Yeah, I've said before, platformers not really my thing, but if you grew up with the SNES, it was hard to not play some platformers. God damn it. I don't know, I kind of always liked Donkey Kong Country 3. I think if you'd asked me as a kid, I'd probably say that was my favorite. Because that had, like, the cool... Felt like more of an open world thing, even though it wasn't. And you had your boat, and you were cruising around, and... It, of course, looked better, and... You had, fuck! You had Dixie Kong. I don't know. I'm gonna blame my controller on all these deaths. that's fair. No, okay, I don't know. Ugh, fuck, this D-pad is atrocious. I can't believe it. I'm really blaming this controller. This is an Amazon Basics Xbox controller. It's probably like $20. And the D-pad is nightmare. Okay, I can't blame the controller for that. This is outrageous stuff. We just gotta focus. Nothing else you can do. Okay. Yeah, now that's what I'd be talking about. Alright, and then you've got Candy's save point. I'm Candy Kong, this is my save point. Oh, Candy! That's what we had when I was 7 years old. We had Candy Kong. So here's the first boss. It's a big beaver in a cave utterly filled with bananas. And you jump on him, and he dies, and you get a giant banana. And we didn't question that shit. We didn't question that shit. And then you go on to the second major area here. Or is this the third major area? Anyways, the mines. So here I believe this is the area, not this stage maybe, but they have like the red light, green light mechanic. Face the frog. And there's mine carts. Those are the worst. Those require some really fucking precise timing. Or at least that's how it always felt as a kid. Beautiful. Thing of beauty. Thing of not beauty. Fuck me! Anyways, I think that's good enough for Donkey Kong Country. Yeah, it's an all-time classic. There are better Donkey Kong Country games, I would say. I mean, well, you know what? Let's find out. Well, I always like doing this. Best Donkey Kong Country. Alright, we'll go to Polygon. Okay. They're going with just best Donkey Kong Country, or Donkey Kong game, so there's 23 on the list. They've got number 1 is the original on the Game Boy. Alright, let's find another list. Donkey Kong on the Game Boy. Nintendo Life, best Donkey Kong games of all time. They've got 25 on the list. They have number 1 as... Oh, I have to go to page 3, hold on. They have number 1 as Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze on the Switch. Now, this is Nintendo Life? Okay, I mean, that wasn't brand new when this list was made. And I've heard a lot of great things about Tropical Freeze. That's kind of why I was looking this up. Number 2, Donkey Kong Country 2. Number 3, Donkey Kong Country Returns. Number 4, Donkey Kong on the Game Boy. Man, there must be something about that game. It's 101 levels. Laid the groundwork for Mario vs. Donkey Kong series. Number 5 is the original Donkey Kong on the Switch eShop. Interesting. Okay. Donkey Kong Country, not even top 5. Let's go to Reddit. Nintendo subreddit. Which Donkey Kong Country game is best? Top comment says Tropical Freeze is best, followed by 2, followed by Returns, followed by 3, followed by 1, in that order. So this is... 1 is the worst. Okay. This person just ranked the original 3, going 2, 1, 3. So, again, 2 being the best. Tropical Freeze, 3. Easily 2 by a mile, absolute masterpiece. Donkey Kong Country 2, by far my favorite. Donkey Kong Country is my favorite and always will be. And then going on about Toys R Us and jerking off from nostalgia, of course. 2, 1, 3, Tropical Freeze Returns. Tropical Freeze, Donkey Kong Country 2, Donkey Kong Country 3, Tropical Freeze, Donkey Kong Country 1, Tropical Freeze 2, 1, 3, 2, Tropical Freeze 1, 3, Tropical Freeze Returns 2, 1, 3. Second one, no comparison. I've played all of them. Tropical Freeze, just platforming at its finest. Easily Tropical Freeze. Now, let's just look. Does Tropical Freeze make an appearance on this list? No. 2 Donkey Kong games make the list. The original from 1981 and Donkey Kong Country. I think what we have here then is probably a situation of just paying respect or talking about influence or importance or something like that. Because by and large, those 2 are not in the top 2 slots among the community. Gosh, now I kind of... Yeah, that always sort of makes me question, I guess. Do I put Country as one of the best games of all time? Well, again, depends on your definition. If you agree with the best meaning important, sure. Because then you're basically just including all the further games in the series. Because they all stem from this one. But no, this one itself, I guess I'd probably say no. Because even I said, as a kid, I liked the third one best. I don't know if I really even remember the second one that well. Diddy Kong's Quest? I think we owned it. Probably. I'm sure we owned it. I don't know. But yeah, bottom line is, under most fans' consideration, there's at least 1 or 2 better games than Donkey Kong Country. So I would say, this is what I'm going to rule, is I think Donkey Kong Country, Super Nintendo, probably should not be listed as one of the best games of all time, but I think a Donkey Kong Country game should be on the list. Now, I don't know exactly which one. I haven't played them all to any great degree. But from the sound of it, probably Tropical Freeze. As that seems to get a lot of praise with no sort of nostalgia influencing it. But, you know, that possibly comes down to just subjectiveness. But that's what I'm going to say. No, but caveat. Alright, gosh. The next 3 games on the list are Doom 2, Earthbound, and Final Fantasy VI. Now, Doom 2 I've done a Let's Play of. Final Fantasy VI, obviously, covered that game on both of my channels. Earthbound, though, I've never done a Let's Play of it, I don't think. Not that I recall. I don't really want to play it for, like, 8 hours, because I have played it a bunch of times, so I guess I could also just skip that. Well, I don't know. I guess I'll talk about that at the start of the next video either way. But for now, my name is Mangg. This has been Mangg Plays the Best Games of All Time with Donkey Kong Country. And I'll see you fine folks next time.